solutions to money, relationships, wellness, and more. Shine a light onto your day and into your life. Power Your Life with Dr. Joanne White.
Welcome to Power Your Life. I'm Joanne White, your host, and tonight we have a very special show. We have a first ever exclusive to share with you, which we'll tell you about in just a moment. But first, I want to introduce you to a remarkable young woman and a very talented artist who began a movement to reinvent the Divine Lorraine Hotel on North Broad Street in Philadelphia. One person who has been a huge supporter of this idea and who is here with her today is former Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell. With me now are both Caryn Kunkle and former Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell. Welcome, both of you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you, Dr. Joanne.
My pleasure. You are an incredible, bold, kind of audacious young woman who is really stirring up the pot a little bit, not only in Philadelphia, but with your vision nationally and thinking also internationally. Tell us a little bit about your concept of the Divine Lorraine.
Sure. So the Divine Lorraine is a central part of Philadelphia's history. It's also a central part of Philadelphia's real estate. And the neighborhood currently is the 6th most violent neighborhood in America. And it's really great to see what potential the building has for the neighborhood. So there's a lot of halfway houses and homeless shelters there. And by turning the Divine into an art museum as opposed to apartments or a hotel, would really revitalize the whole neighborhood and bring both the new gentrification and the old constituents who lived there for a long time together.
Not only that, you're talking about also making this an interactive museum, right? An interactive facility, and you've really gone around and gotten the support of several people, including Governor Ed Rendell. Tell us a little bit about why you think this vision has been so important for Philadelphia.
Well, during my time as mayor and even going on to my time as governor, I always wanted to do something with the Divine Lorraine. The Avenue of the Arts south of City Hall has been a huge success and probably should be credited with the revitalization of downtown Philadelphia. But the Avenue of the Arts North never really made it. For a while, the Freedom Theater had some viability, but it never really caught on. And I thought that the Divine Lorraine, as something that promotes arts and culture, was an important part of the component of making Avenue of the Arts North a reality. So I always wanted to do something with it, but I could find no developer willing to, even with the prospect of state aid, willing to go out and do it. Then I attended as the guest speaker, a Ready for Hillary event for the Hillary Clinton PAC, and I was greeted at the door by this young woman who was charming and spoke in tones, as you said, visionary is a good word to describe Caryn. And I was impressed with both the idea, the concept, and the person. What makes Caryn special, I think, is her refusal to look at something and say it can't be done. She's had a lot of people, smart people who are friends of hers, tell her, well, you'll never get possession of the building, you can't do this. In fact, when President Clinton was in town, Caryn did a wonderful sketch of President Clinton and Hillary, which he loved, and in fact, it's now up in their house in Chappaqua. President Clinton said to Caryn, now let me get this straight. You're going to build you're going to build an art museum in a building that you don't own.
Not only do you not own it, but there's a lot of controversy around whether or not it's even going to work. And so you had a concept that you presented not only to Governor Ed Rendell, but to Bill Clinton and to Louis Katz. Sorry about your loss.
Sure. And
its concept is what? Think up. So tell us about that, because I think it's brilliant.
Sure. So I'm always telling people to think up. That's actually what I titled Bill's portrait with Hillary, and my friend Gabe Tiberino did the portrait of Hillary. And think up is an important concept, especially for Philadelphia. We have a rich cultural history here. We also have a $3.4 billion arts industry. I like to call that the living arts. And that industry really has no centralization. It has no cohesiveness. It's here and there and very scattered. Everybody has their own membership or website. And so people like Louis and Ed and Bill have been encouraging me to pursue the project, because what we do is we unite all of the existing resources under one roof, under one website, and we kind of share overlapping needs and resources, and we cut back on overhead costs, and it really brings people together. And that's why we call it Philadelphia Interactive Museum of Contemporary Art.
I think it's brilliant, too.
To be clear, part of the building is going to be a museum to the contemporary arts, but part of the building will house the various group arts and cultural groups, some of whom don't have a home or are on borrowed space and need a permanent home, and they'll all be there, and there'll be a great synergy of having them all together. So things like the Mural Arts Program, give us a few others.
The Greater Philadelphia Film Office, etc.
Can we unveil that painting that you did?
Oh, I would love that, yeah.
Please, because it's a first here, and we're excited. Love to see it.
Yeah.
So here it is, right? And you actually were also commissioned by Louis Katz was one of your staunch supporters in this PMOCA idea, right? And the loss is great, not only personally to you, Governor Rendell, and also to you, but he was going to be funding it. And the loss is great not only for Philadelphia, because he did so much. He was a philanthropist, and also I've done a lot of reading about him. I didn't know him personally, but he also had a sense of humor and wanted people to enjoy life, and you know him more than I do, so you spoke at his memorial.
Sure. I mean, he is a big loss in many ways. First and foremost, it's someone who gave away hundreds of millions of dollars to good causes is silenced. And although his son Drew will carry on, Louis had some specific ideas of things that were on his list to do, and they're not going to get done right away. Hopefully Drew will carry them out. Secondly, he's a loss to all of us because, as I said at the memorial, the world for all of us who knew him is a lot less fun than it was before he died. He had the capacity to be instantly funny, make you forget about your problems, and he also had the capacity to grasp new ideas and get behind them. And he loved young people with creative ideas who had a lot of gumption. And so he met Karen, and within a few short minutes, he was sold on Karen and sold on the project. Well,
it's hard not to be sold on you. But also, President Clinton actually responded to you in gratitude with a letter.
Yeah, it was great. Both Bill and Louis were very kind and gave me some great advice. And Bill wrote me a letter and said thank you for the portrait, and you know, he's looking forward to seeing the progress of the museum. And Louis was so fascinated with Bill's portrait that he actually commissioned portraits of his grandchildren. Unfortunately, he passed away before he could see them, but we're going to make sure that his family gets them still.
Yeah, and you're going to do it free of charge, which is very special.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much. I know your time is very valuable. And stay tuned, because right after the break, we'll talk more one-on-one with former Governor of Pennsylvania, Ed Rendell. And then we'll be back with you, Karen.
Thanks, Marianne.
My pleasure.